Thank you. Thank you very much, Seamus. I call Seamus brother. I think we have to find a union that can make him an honorary member. What do you think? Thank you for those kind words and that great introduction, Seamus. Chairman Kuchrin, Executive Board, officers, delegates, colleagues, and sisters and brothers in the building trades, it is an honor to stand before you and welcome you to this year's conference, Canada's Future is Union Made. Yeah, exactly. Now, just as an aside, because you know I'm a hockey fan, I hope Canada's future also has a Stanley Cup in it. But yeah. So, you know, and I am a Leaf fan, I got to say that too. But we got to wish the Habs and the Oilers all the best of luck to bring that Stanley Cup home to Canada. And as far as the Leafs are concerned, you know, they're like the Titanic. They look great until they hit the ice. So it's good to have a little bit of fun. But as Seamus says, the Canadian Executive Board and CBTU, we go to work. And we are committed to this movement. And that's why when I'm asked why I wake up every morning and pour everything I have into this movement, it's because I've seen what we can do when we organize, when we plan, and when we push for change together. Let me take you back to when I first started in July 2020 with Canada's Building Trades Unions. My wife thought I was crazy because I was switching jobs during COVID. But as you know, I come from a construction union family. My dad and his dad were both union bricklayers. And my old man put me to work as a 15-year-old as a Liuna laborer tending bricklayers. Almost killed me. What an initiation that was. But that experience of going to work every day and throughout university, going to construction sites and understanding what all of our trades do and how hard our members work every day guides me to this very day. Unionized construction and its challenges and its possibilities gets in your DNA and stays there. That's why I say to this day and every day, it is an honor and privilege to represent you and a privilege to represent our members. When I first joined CBTU with the support of NABTU, the leadership of the Canadian Executive Board, and the collaboration with provincial councils and affiliates, we went to work, establishing a team, creating relationships and a brand in Ottawa, establishing CBTU as a trusted, no bullshit skilled trades labor organization that told it as it is, leveraging our influence to achieve legislative advancements that are unparalleled in the history of the CBTU. And we did this together. You've heard them before, but the retelling does not make them any less important. Workforce development initiatives. CBTU provides industry leadership pertaining to workforce development, including Indigenous awareness training, the Building a Green curriculum, the Green Futures Partnership, in the trades, providing incentives to contractors to hire first-year apprentices, and our Indigenous Reconciliation Action Plan that you will hear more about on Wednesday. Banning the use of replacement workers, and thanks for reminding us about that, Seamus, in federally regulated industries through Bill C-58. We've also secured increased funding for our industry, including the establishment of UTIP and then the doubling from $25 million to $50 million per year, which has helped with hundreds of our training centers right across the country. We have a total of almost 200 training centers across the country. Many of them, and many of you in this room, have experienced funding from UTIP to help improve your capacity with your training center. We also work to double the tradesperson tool deduction from $500 to $1,000. That's real money in our members' jeans when they buy new tools. They get to deduct $1,000 off their income tax. Embedding labor conditions, prevailing wage and benefits, our agreements, full pop, plus mandatory minimum apprenticeship requirements into Bill C-59, the Sustainable Jobs Act. This is a monumental victory for our building trades unions and our brothers and sisters in the movement. Responding to tariffs, CBTU acted quickly, alongside others in the labor movement, to achieve waiving the waiting period for EI supports, ensuring separation pay did not delay an EI claim, and work sharing to maintain jobs and income with EI support during slowdowns to reduce layoffs. Passing Bill C-5, our latest achievement, the One Canadian Economy Act, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and the labor mobility tax deduction, where a tradesperson can claim up to $4,000 annually for out-of-pocket expenses when traveling to work when those expenses are not covered by an LOA. The Income Tax Act was changed to include the terminology tradesperson. And if you look at your income tax forms, which are, as you know, due in a few days, right there on the income tax form, there's a section designated specifically to labor mobility tax deduction and how to claim it. That is for our members, and that's for all construction workers right across Canada, right there in black and white in the CRA income tax form. While these achievements are significant and are cause for celebration, real and large monumental victories are ahead of us if we get it right. Let me take you back to almost 1 year ago today during this conference, April 28th, 2025, when many here joined us during our election watch party and witnessed the election of our new Prime Minister, Mark Carney. When Prime Minister Mark Carney took office, the Executive Board of Canada's building trades unions didn't wait. We didn't hesitate. We engaged immediately, constructively, and strategically. We did what building trades unions do best. We brought facts, we brought solutions, and we brought credibility. We took time to understand the government's goals and to share ours. We met multiple ministers. We sat at tables with policymakers and senior bureaucrats. We found common ground where we could benefit and Canada could win. We brought our members' voices. We brought your voices into committee hearings, briefing rooms, and into the Prime Minister's very own boardroom. This work culminated in Bill C-5, the One Canadian Economy Act. With a minority parliament, the Liberal government asked for our help to ensure Bill C-5 would pass. Several members of the Canadian Executive Board reached out across the aisle and asked opposition parties to put aside their partisan views and support this bill in the name of Canada's economic future. Personally, I had the honor and privilege of representing our members on the floor of the Senate, a rare occurrence to give testimony on the floor of the Senate. Additionally, CBTU staff mobilized a letter-writing campaign and nearly 5,000 of you responded. This coordinated effort made a difference and ensured that Bill C-5 was passed. And not only was that for the benefit of Canada, to reduce interprovincial trade barriers, to focus on creating a major projects office, there was one amendment to that bill. And that one amendment to that bill is contained in the preamble. And it says the purpose of the One Canadian Economy Act is to do a lot of different things. And one of them is to create good paying unionized jobs. That is memorialized in the bill. It's right there in the bill to create good paying unionized jobs. And this was not a simple policy win. It was a transformational moment for tradespeople and for unionized labor in Canada. A recognition not just of organized labor as a group, but of the essential role of unionized tradespeople in delivering public infrastructure that is safe, fair, and of high quality. This acknowledgement is significant. It sets the tone for regulations, for contracting frameworks, and for public expectation. It changes the conversation, and we did not arrive there by accident. We arrived there because of unity, strategy, and sustained pressure. Now is the time to emphasize the truth we've always known. In the face of adversity, there is strength in solidarity. From Newfoundland and Labrador to British Columbia, and all the provinces and territories in between, from remote communities to dense urban centers, our unions are the connective tissue that holds projects together and keeps communities strong. Unity isn't just a slogan, it's an action. We also have to be honest that unity demands discipline. It requires clear priorities, resources, shared strategies, including coordinated campaigns where appropriate, aligned political advocacy across provinces, and a national apprenticeship and workforce development strategy that ensures job mobility in the trades. When we move as one, governments and employers listen. The work ahead requires that same discipline and a relentless commitment to clear legislative priorities. If Canada is going to lead in leveraging our natural resources in ways we never have before, approving construction projects of national significance, and diversifying our trade corridors internationally, we must ensure that we are supporting our workers every step of the way, and we do this in solidarity. CBTU's legislative priorities are focused and designed to meet the needs of our current and future members. Number one, labor supply and early engagement in project approvals. We are working with the federal government to secure a seat at the table as early as possible in the project approval process. Early engagement allows us to guide labor planning, align training pipelines and projected demand, and manage supply to avoid boom-bust cycles that hurt workers and communities. We've all lived this before. When labor considerations are built into project design and timelines from day one, we can ensure appropriate apprenticeships, journey person availability, and regional workforce coordination. Number two, labor conditions on major projects. We mentioned this with the Prime Minister in that meeting we had, and you saw the picture. We're pushing to implement prevailing wages and mandatory minimum apprenticeship hours on major publicly funded projects. You've heard me say it before. If public and taxpayer dollars are being used to finance construction projects, we must work hard, just like we did with Bill C-59, to make sure those taxpayer dollars are used to pay union wages and benefits. Increasing the labor mobility tax deduction to $10,000. We recommend that the government adjust the Income Tax Act. We got a victory with the $4,000, but we need to increase that to $10,000 and index that cap to the rate of inflation. And we also recommend the lower 120-kilometer limit be adopted. This will further incentivize our members to go to where the work is. And the work is coming. The announcements are starting to roll. National safety harmonization. To meet labor supply needs safely and consistently across the country, we are advocating for national harmonization of safety standards and training requirements. Consistent national standards will allow workers to move between jurisdictions efficiently while maintaining the highest safety standards. This is a race to the top, not the bottom. Together, yes, safety, we need to applaud that. Absolutely. These four elements and many more are a blueprint to create the foundations for union-made projects of national significance that optimize Canadian jobs and improve Canada's economy and help put Canada on a path of becoming an energy superpower. Brothers and sisters, the future is union-made. We have to work together collectively to turn the promise of these jobs into the reality of jobs with shovels in the earth and boots on the ground. We're standing at a crossroads. The opportunity in front of us is real. It is up to us to seize the day, meet the moment, and ensure Canada's future is union-made. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.